Well, good morning. It is Tuesday after a long weekend, and we are heading to the wharf to load one tractor. And it's only going as far as our yard, and the customer is going to pick it up from there. So it's a job. Wet, miserable day. So hopefully it clears up a little bit. I've got some maintenance to do, some repairs, preventative maintenance, that sort of thing, but I'm going to, obviously it's only not even 7 o'clock here yet, so I will, once I've done this tractor, I'll ring round for parts. I like to go to Kenworth. It's easy because they know my serial number. I spend a lot of money there over the years with trucks. And yes, I can give them my serial number, tell them what I want, and they just give me the right parts first time. Normally they're on the shelf and there's no issues, but as with my AdBlue dosing pump I just done, Kenworth wanted $3,500 plus GST plus core. So I'm thinking $3,500 got me a remanned one, which I don't have a problem with remanned stuff. But $3,500, whew. Whereas I rang around and I got one for $2,000, brand new. So while it might be aftermarket, it's brand new. It's got a warranty, and really it was half price basically. So and it's in the truck and it's working. So yeah. So I'm going to try that same shop. They stock a few Cummins parts, and try and get what I need. I'll go into it more detail once we get to that point. But anyway, we're going to H-berth this morning. H-berth is normally really good. It's much easier than the main one we go to for all the gear. This one's a lot less, well, they've got a lot more common sense. Things are just easier to get done, and it's but it can be very, very busy and sometimes very tough to find a park, and you just sort of park in blocking rows and things, but you just have to do what you have to do. And yeah, sometimes getting signed out, paperwork signed, can take a while. There's normally only one guy on doing it, and if a car carrier's in front with a stack of paperwork thickness of a phone book and a whole lot of cars to sign out, then it can be quite a delay, and I would normally be there a lot earlier than I am going to get there today. But I had printer issues. So to come and get something off the wharf, you have to have what's called the EDO, electronic delivery order, and that normally gets emailed to whoever's picking it up. So it would have gone to the company we're working for, then it went to the guy that I'm working for, and he's passed it on to me, and then I had to print it out. So it's So I take that and they check it off, mark it against everything, and yeah, we're generally good to go. I'm not sure, you get 4 days to remove things off the wharf generally. So it's nice if you've got a lot on the boat, a lot of gear, you try and get there on day one and rip into it and get everything cleared by day 4, because after day 4 you start getting charged storage. But day 1 can be carnage. So the boat's gone, so I must have been in over the weekend. So hopefully, oh no, that could be it there. I'm hoping that if it's day 1, there's not too much heavy stuff on there, or that day 1 was Friday or something like that, and that's another boat that's in there. We'll find out. fair bit of gear in there. Pull up here, we swipe our card. Swipe our card and processing. And we've got access. It looks like it's going to be busy here. So the Toyota vehicles, they have a whole lot of people, a lot of them retired, semi-retired, whatever, and they drive them down in these little buses here to the left, and they get here and they all grab a car each and they go past this Bowser directly in front of us and they put a splash of fuel in and then they tear up to Qdale with them. And there's just streams of them. They've all got dealer plates bolted on the front of them, and yeah. There's a lot of trucks here. Oh, there must be steel in here as well. Bugger. And we used to be able to load right on the apron there where the ship is, but they've changed that and they won't let us do that anymore. I'm looking for a Massey Ferguson tractor. I reckon I'm going to do a U-turn and park beside that truck there maybe. Can't see a tractor. I'm going to back along there. I was just going to park here, but I'm going to back along there and park back behind them tiny houses. And go and see if I can't find me a tractor. I should put them beacons on. So I've got to go and find the tractor and then get to the window and queue up. And I believe it is starting to rain. So this isn't a park, but it's where we're going to park. Now here, just out my window here, these tiny homes. I was just watching old Flat Out Flat Broke move one of them, but his is tandem axle. These ones got 3 axles on them. That's what I need to live in. One of them, spot on. Okay, I'm going to go and see if I can't find me a tractor. Right, that's us loaded on the wharf. We've got a little Ferg tractor on. Was blocked in with a grader, and I thought, oh good, get to have a play in a grader, but The grader had flat batteries, so we had to move a couple of Maffey trailers. And but anyway, we're still loaded, and it's actually bigger than I thought. So I've got to wait till 9 o'clock curfew. So it is 8:15. We're on the wharf with everyone else that's waiting for curfew. It's a very full house in here today. So I just have to sit and wait, and I wish I bought some coffee or something to eat. Anyway. Okay, so what we've got, it's just a little messy Ferg with loader arms on it and front linkage, 3-point linkage, PTO drive on the front. Nice little setup. So I did travel back from the wharf to the yard where I'm leaving the machine with the loader arms off the deck. Now that's purely because it was a 5-minute drive, 10 minutes maybe. If I was going further than that, I'd have rubber onto that and have it on the deck strapped down so it can't bounce, but just for efficiency, they set up in the air. Alright, let's get this off. Okay, so nice little tractor. Revs up when you lift the loader arms. Very hot in here, I don't know where to find some cooling. Can't even open a window. Alright, anyway, let's get them off here. So, look over. Well, let's just turn around. Not sure what you can see there, but it's making it really hard for me to concentrate on what I'm doing here. Okay, one tractor on the ground with one set of loader arms still up in the air because all of a sudden they just stopped working, so that's how they'll stay. Right, I'm going to go and get some truck parts. So there she blows in the yard, they'll come and pick it up in the next day or so. Right, so we're doing a parts run. So what happened was, doing the pre-start this morning, had the bonnet over, and it's a habit I got into. I worked a job, fly in, fly out job, doing platform work, and when there was no work, we just hung around. We were 4 weeks on, 1 week off in Port Hedland, and we just had to find things to entertain ourselves, and say you do a pre-start on your truck every day. I had this 509 here. It was basically new when I got it, but they'd purchased them, and a lot of drivers come over from the UK to drive them and couldn't really, they weren't used to 18-speed road ranges, so they took them out and put Allison autos in them. So when I got there, they had Allisons in them, and they were awful. They were absolutely awful. Yeah, I didn't know they were automatics until I started the job. I knew they were new 509s, and I thought, a ripper. But anyway, so you'd just have to fill in all day. So the pre-start, you'd make your pre-start on the truck take as long as you could, so you'd check everything over, then you'd flip the bonnet, check everything under the bonnet 20 times, and then start it up and get it running with the bonnet over and go around and just listen for any noise at all, just praying there was something to do, something broken or damaged that you could do something with. But and that's what I did this morning, and I heard a squeak, so it sounds like I had CRC in my hand at the time because I'd been doing something else, and so it's what it is one of the idler pulleys is just starting to squeak, and I've got a spare set of belts. I've been meaning to change the belts anyway since I bought the truck 160,000 k's ago. So, but the Horton has also been on the way out. You can see a massive gap there. Linings are well and truly worn on that. And once upon a time, I used to rebuild them. Used to buy kits for them and rebuild them, but I don't think that's a thing anymore. I think you've got to buy the whole shooting box. So I've managed to get belts and pulleys up in Kewdale, which is a bit of a pain. I've got to go all the way up there. But $850 odd, I think, for belts, pulleys, tensioners, and the works. But they didn't have any Hortons, so I'm on my way to TRP to see what they've got. And we're just stuck in traffic here on just making my way around to TRP here in River Lake. Yeah, this old mate's backing in. He's doing a bang up job, but the traffic coming the other way just keeps creeping up and creeping up. They're not giving him any room to pull forward if he gets it wrong. No patience at all. Yeah, give it one shot. That's good effort though, mate. Well done, you. It is a busy little road, this Discovery Drive down in River Lake. Always busy. And while I'm in the neighbourhood here, I'll probably get some smoko. Well, it wasn't so bad. They still do a rebuild kit for the Hortons, so that come in at $700, which was basically $3,000 cheaper than what I thought. So, and the fan itself, if I hadn't got the rebuild, was going to be only $1,800. Sorry, the clutch was going to be $1,800 or something. So I saved $1,000 there, but then I was reading the catalogue while I was waiting, and they had some shiny bits, and I've just held off putting shiny bits on the truck. There's other things I need to spend money on, but I worked out that I just saved a couple of grand. So in the back seat with me wiper blades is a new bug deflector, and on order to be arriving tomorrow is a sun visor, a drop visor. So yeah, bad time to be spending money, but I just saved all that money on the fan, so now I've got to go and rebuild it. But I've just got to shoot to Kewdale, or Kewdale as it has been aptly renamed, and get the pulleys and belts. But it looks like it's going to be raining by the time I get back, so it may be all over for today. So $865 there. Let me tell you just what we got. So multi-spares, $865.89, and TRP was a grand total of $1,174, and there's no work. Now we're just leaving here now, and yeah, it is looking the direction we need to go is that way, and it is black. So I'm I'm just weighing up whether it's even worth driving back to the yard because the weather is rubbish. Well, I don't know if you can hear that noise, but there shall be no repairs today to the truck. My word, it is bucketing down. I don't think I'm even going to be able to get from the car into the house. Oh well, lucky I got a full tank of diesel. I can sit here with the car idling and scrolling on Facebook. And that is some wild weather out there. Oh. Good morning. I believe it's Thursday. No, it's Wednesday. I've come down to work. It is absolutely bucketing down. So I've got all the bits to get the truck done, but I think there's going to be a bit of a non-event today. Now the truck's just there in front of me. It's a wet day. I think it's going to be a write-off today. I don't think we're going to get much done. The truck's still drivable, like I could pull it to bits between showers, but I don't really want to have it in bits should a job come up. At the moment, it's still drivable. It's just that bit of a squeak coming from one of the idlers. Got them all there. Yeah, so I think I'm better off leaving it until I can do the whole job in one go without having to stop and start. And it really won't take long, but I just don't think there's going to be a decent break in the weather today by the looks of that sky. So anyway, I'm getting my, there's the rain again, I'm getting my waste oil picked up this morning, so I'll sit here and wait for the man with the suction pump. So despite the weather being pretty average, if we have a look out there, it looks like blue sky on the camera, but it's actually very black sky. Anyway, we made a start here, so what I'm doing is, this is the Horton fan clutch. You can see there's a horrendous gap there where the linings are, and that's quite worn. So I'm going to re-kit that, and obviously I've just taken the main fan belt off, replacing that, and over here the AC belt, that idlers, tensioners, everything. Yeah, so just unbolted the fan. Now I will go around and take the AC belt off, and yeah, just keep pulling it to bits, but I'm just doing it between showers, so yeah, there'll be some very short footage and lots of running for cover in between. Okay, here's an update. Fan's off. Ended up taking all the studs out of the Horton here, just to, I wouldn't normally take the fan right out, but it actually came out pretty easy. So all the idlers off, so here's what we've stripped off it here. So here's tensioner for AC belt, tensioner for your main fan belt, and idler for the AC belt. That's the fan drive mount, and fan, obviously the belts. Now the belts, they've looked like this since I had the truck, and that's yeah, that's how I've done 160,000 Ks on it, and yeah, definitely time for a replace. So we've got the Super Duty rebuild kit for the Horton. So yeah, let's have a look and see if I'm going to be able to do it without taking that right off. I think I will take it right off. It's just going to make life easier. Alright, let's get into it, shall we? Okay, still going here. Got a bit of sunshine. I don't have a vise, so it's pinned to the trailer. So everything's laid out. So there's the old one now. It was what you call Outback, I think. Whereas this new one is just a severe service, so it doesn't have the cooling fins on it like this one does. Not going to make a huge amount of difference for what I do. Yeah. Anyway, I've got to keep going. So the new linings are on, all the new bearings are in, O-rings, everything. There's plastic bags and shit blowing everywhere. Yeah, so I'm basically I end up having to pull it all off because I just couldn't get it in situ. But now it's just a matter of putting it back together and throwing it on, which will be challenging, lifting it into the engine by myself, but we'll get there. All right, let's go. Now, I know this is riveting stuff, but I'm not showing really any action, but here is the hub is in. That's how I got it up into place. So I've ratchet sling, I've just had that rag there to try and keep my clothes a bit cleaner. Up and over and under the belt surface, and I managed to drop the hub in from the top and sit it there, put the sling underneath, ratchet it up, pull it up, and somewhere in there's some bolts that are lined up, ready to go. So yeah, now it's just a matter of bolting it up and then belts on, and we'll be trucking, if only there was some trucking to do. All right. So there we have the AC belt on, AC belt, water pump, new idler pulley there, new tensioner there, so it's spring loaded, so I'm not getting much action shots here, but so what you do to tension that, just put that the right way, so you just pull on that and it's spring loaded, and that takes the tension off the belt. I don't know. Okay, after an insane amount of swearing, the main drive belt is on, tension is on. So I don't know if you could see before we started, the gap that was there between those linings and that wear plate. Yeah, it was huge, and one of the bearings actually collapsed as I was getting it out, so I think we've caught it in good time. Yeah, all that's left now is to start her up, give it a whirl, and then yeah, fan back on. Here we go. Let it build up a bit of air, and we'll test that Horton, but I'll throw the fan on now anyway. I think before we test it, I think we're pretty good, we're right. And there we have it, fan is back in, belts are on, clutch is good. Okay, there it is, fan's on, working, everything's running nice and true, and so much quieter. I knew the old one was on the way out, but yeah, you don't realise just how much quieter those bearings are. One of the bearings actually fell to bits as I was getting it out, so caught that in time. I just picked a terrible day to do this because of the rain, so I've had to keep packing things up and putting them out. So it's been going it's taken me 4 hours to do it, when it really should have taken an hour and a half, 2 hours. So I didn't show much of the working. Anyway, on to the next job, next project, which will be lunch. And then we might drill some holes and mount some new shiny bits. All right.